The problem. Anyone listening to your programme will know somebody at the moment who is trapped either in rented accommodation or they're in substandard accommodation or they're in temporary accommodation because we don't have the social housing we need in this country, and the Conservatives have completely failed to deliver that. We will deliver that, because having a safe, secure home is one of the pillars of how you can get on in life, and far too many people at the moment, including young children, are in accommodation that's not fit for them, and we will deliver that social housing that we need, and that will help the whole housing market and will give people their future back, and that's what we're determined to deliver. I had social housing. It helped me when I needed it the most, and that's been snatched away from so many at the moment, and it's a real scandal that Michael Gove is giving back nearly £2 billion of the Affordable Homes Grant because he's not able to deliver on that, and that Rishi Sunak hasn't been able to push down his backbenchers and make sure that we have the planning reforms to ensure that we can build those homes. We will deliver that, and we're determined to do that.
Angela Rayner entered the studio with the confidence of a seasoned politician, ready to defend Labour's housing policies against mounting criticism. She came prepared for battle, armed with talking points about building 1.5 million new homes and tackling Britain's housing crisis. What she didn't expect was how quickly that confidence would crumble under pressure. The housing crisis affects millions of Britons trapped in substandard accommodation, temporary housing, or expensive rentals. Labour promises decent homes for everyone, yet when challenged on their voting record against government housing plans, Rayner's defence fell flat. She claimed the Conservatives failed to engage properly, insisting Labour's amendment could have delivered results. Her argument that environmental protection and house building must go hand in hand sounds noble but lacks practical substance. Jeremy Clarkson wasted no time exposing the contradictions in Labour's position. His opening question was deceptively simple, yet devastating. If there's a housing crisis, why does Labour claim we have a housing surplus?
Builds council houses. She gets the keys to her first home to stability. Labour is the party of equality, of the Equality Act, of equal pay, and of Sure Start. Will make work more family-friendly, crack down on unfair pay, and improve access to justice for those discriminated against at work.
Her usual confidence was nowhere to be found. The devastating blow came when Clarkson cited reports suggesting 5 out of every 7 new homes could go to migrants rather than British residents. Rayner appeared visibly stunned, her face betraying complete bewilderment. She floundered between contradictory statements, first dismissing the figures, then suggesting such allocation was necessary for growth. The more she spoke, the deeper the confusion grew. If you're finding this analysis useful, make sure to subscribe to stay updated on political breakdowns like this one, covering the moments that reveal the truth behind the rhetoric. Tried desperately to recover, blaming 13 years of Conservative failure and the crashed economy. She painted herself as realistic about inheriting difficult circumstances, while promising to change Britain for the better. However, her defensive stance only highlighted Labour's policy weaknesses further. When pressed on the contradiction between claiming a housing crisis while insisting there's sufficient supply, Rayner couldn't provide a coherent answer. Her evasiveness over housing allocation between migrants and British citizens deepened public distrust. The exchange laid bare Labour's fundamental inconsistencies on one of the election's key issues. Clarkson referenced a BBC investigation showing Labour on councils viewed the house-building target as unachievable or unrealistic. This revelation struck at the heart of Labour's credibility. If their own councils don't believe in the plan, how can voters trust it? The political fallout was immediate and severe. Working-class Labour supporters, already struggling with housing costs, learned their promised new homes might go elsewhere. The homeless, clinging to promises of change, faced the reality that help might not come. Rayner's inability to address these concerns inflicted serious damage on Labour's reputation. Her clumsy, ill-informed responses reinforced perceptions that Labour doesn't grasp ordinary people's concerns. The lack of clear data and coherent policy explanations left viewers more bewildered than reassured. This wasn't just a bad interview. It was a systematic dismantling of Labour's housing credibility. The consequences extend beyond this single appearance. With clips circulating widely, Labor faces an uphill battle to regain public confidence on housing policy. In critical battleground constituencies, this media disaster could prove decisive as voters question whether Labor can deliver on its promises. As the general election approaches, this interview stands as a stark reminder that political confidence means nothing without substance. Rayner entered as a poised deputy prime minister, but left as a symbol of Labor's policy confusion. The housing crisis demands serious solutions, not empty promises that crumble under basic scrutiny. Voters deserve better than politicians who can't explain their own policies.